Guys, welcome back to Kamia's Kitchen, where we savor the taste and flavors of Mama's kitchen. And today we're going to actually make some soya chunks, some curried soya chunks, along with some roti. Wow, it's going to be a sumptuous meal. So here we have it. It's a cup of coconut milk, and that is going to be actually used to be cooked with the soya chunks. It's going to be a lovely, sumptuous meal. And here we have, butter bean. Butter beans at 240 grams of butter bean. I have some thyme, string beans, spring onion, garlic, onion itself, the purple one I'm using today, pumpkin, sweet pepper or bell pepper you call it, scotch bonnet pepper there, some carrots. Yes, we also have Irish, we have chocho, also we have broccoli. So all of this will be used in our meal today, and I'm just going to show you how it's going to be done. So first step, we're going to actually put on our chunks. So we're going to actually put it on fire and just allow it to actually steam in some warm water. That is going to help to change the texture. It's a bit hard now, very hard now. So when we actually put it in warm water, it will soak and then it gets a bit soft. And then we'll tell you how it's supposed to be prepared later. So now here I have the chunks, and I'm going to allow it to sit there in the warm water and it's going to soak. I'll look back at that in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, so now what I've just done, I've sorted out my vegetables, and look at that, it's lovely. So onion rings around the edge of my dish. Inside I have my chocho, carrot, rings carrot, Irish, dice up pumpkin, also rings of string bean, and okra, and also bell peppers and scotch bonnet pepper. And then you can see my thyme leaf there along it. So all of this will be going inside of my soya chunks. So this is my soya chunks. It's now properly soaked. It's now soft to texture. That is how I want it to be. And then I'm going to actually cook it from there on. I have my ground season, black pepper. This is rock chocolate, a teaspoon and a half. Just half teaspoon of salt, because I'm actually be aware of those people who don't like a lot of salt, right? And over here I have half teaspoon of ginger powder. Then I have 1.5 tablespoon of curry powder, right? And I also here have mixed spice that is going to be used on my veggie chunks. So I love to mix my season together. Yeah, actually what I'm trying to do is to mix the aggregates. So I'm actually going to pour all over my chunks. So remember, this is soya chunks. And then I'm going to use my spoon to gently mix. And then afterwards, I'm going to now use my hand to massaging the season inside. So I'm massaging it because I want to actually to make sure the aggregated particles go directly around my chunks. I'm doing that now. It's actually giving a lovely color and texture so far. This is what I like to have. So there's what I have so far. So I gently massage this one. And I massage it in. I'm going to let it sit here just for 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to go to my stove and actually show the process how it's supposed to be cooked. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare my dough for my roti. I have my flour. I'm using the self-rising flour today to make my roti. I just added just 1/4 teaspoon of salt because I'm agent. But for me, I'm just wanting to just have a natural roti. So I'm going to be using a cup of water first to pour inside. And I'm going to actually, oh, the process is important, how you actually do it now. So I'm using my finger, as it were, to massage, to gently massage the flour and bring it into one. I'm not going to actually doing a kneaded press just yet. I'm just massaging using my fingers. Now the most important thing when making roti, you don't want the dough to be hard or too soft, right? So it's going to have to be of the right texture. So what I'm doing now, I'm just gently using my fingers to massage, and once I get all the particles around, I'm going to in a circular motion now, and then I'm going to actually still using my fingers, as I said, like you're gently feeling the texture of the dough. Looking at it so far, it's getting to where I want it. And I'm now going to roll it around in my container. Now look at what I'm going to do now. I'm going to use my fingers to press into the dough, because I need to get out the air bubbles that create inside, or some pocket of space. I need to get out those. So I'm actually flipping and pressing, flipping and pressing. At the same time, use my fingers to massage in. So look at the texture, it's not too sticky. One thing you can also actually use if you find it become a little bit sticky on your hand is to make sure that you use a little oil. So when I actually pull it, it should be somewhat elastic, not too hard to pull, right? And afterwards, I'm going to like roll it into a ball. So I'm actually pulling, good. Something like that. Then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually cover it and let it sit there for half of an hour. If you look carefully at the texture, as I said, it's not too hard. If I put my fingers in, I should be able to easily touch and move out. Right. So here I'm going to let it sit for half of an hour, but I'm going to wrap it in my plastic wrapper or cling wrap, and I'm going to actually let it sit there half hour. So it's now wrap. Then I get back after the half hour to look at it. I'm going to add just a tablespoon of oil. Yes, a spoon of oil to grease the base of the pot. And then I'm now going to take my chunks. I'm going to take my chunks and actually put it inside the pot. Now, one of the things you must make sure that your fire is not too high. So this is the temperature we're talking about. It's not too high. The flame is not too high. Then now I'm going to now start putting in my other season. So I've now added the rest of season, and look how lovely that is. Look at the presentation, beautiful. Now what's going to happen, as I told you before, all those season that I've cut up before, they're now inside the pot. The only thing I've not put inside the pot just yet is that my Scotch bonnet pepper. And the reason for that, not everyone love their food extremely spicy. So I want it to be a little bit mild. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put it in later. So now I'm going to actually take my little time to stir my pot. But before I even do more of that, I'm going to cover my pot now and let it sit there for a while. And then I'm going to actually stir it in the next minute or so. So I'm letting it sit there, and in due time I will turn so that the seasons can actually cook inside the pot. Look at that lovely, lovely flavor. Look at the coloration, it's beautiful. and it's also tasty. So now I've finished stirring my pot, and this is what it looks like now while it is being stirred. What I'm going to do now, remember, I have my butter bean. I actually pre-cook my butter bean because sometimes the bean can be very hard, so I pre-cook it. Yes. So this is the 240 grams of butter bean. I told you we're going to cook in coconut milk. So my cup of coconut milk, I'm going to pour a rich coconut milk. So I'm pouring my coconut milk over my pot. And then I'm going to also add some margarine. So now I'm just going to allow everything to cook. So that's a cup of coconut milk was poured in, plus a tablespoon of margarine, and I poured a cup of water. So I allow it to cook a little. So I cover my pot and it sit there. I'm still not going to add my scotch bonnet pepper just yet. At the end, almost when I'm almost finished, just about maybe 5 minutes, I added my scotch bonnet pepper. So I actually removed the cling wrap, and I just cut my roti just with a knife in actually sectors. And it depends on the size roti you need, how big you want it to be. But I just actually cut it in 8 parts. So I'm now going to roll them in like in a ball form. So here I have um, my roti set now. So I'm now going to actually roll them out to make my roti. I'm going to show you that process as well. Some people use a rolling pin. Yes, actually that's what it is. I'm going to be doing that just now. I have the dough, the kneaded dough, and actually I put some flour, and then I'm going to use a rolling pin to roll it. So you just roll in one direction, turn, and do the same throughout. I like mine very thin, so this is about 0.5 millimeter thickness. You lift it up like that, you cannot practically see through it because I like my roti to be very thin. Now after greasing my pot, I place my roti on the pot, and then I'm going to check the flame of the fire to make sure that it's actually at low temperature, not too high, because I do not want my roti to be burnt. Then now I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to flip the roti every 30 seconds. Look at this is how I want it, the texture to be soft. So now I'm going to fold it. Practically take about a minute, 30 seconds per side, and I'm folding it in halves. And you just take your time folding it, or folding the way in which you like. I'm going to fold it again in quarters to actually give it nice or lovely design. And this is what you're going to have, looking lovely indeed. So here we have the finished dish. That's soya chunks. Look at it. Lovely, soft, juicy, tasty, delicious. And then over here we have our roti. Look at the texture. Soft. You can fold it. You can do anything with it. Thanks for watching another episode of Kamea's Kitchen, where we savor the taste and flavors of Mama's Kitchen. Remember to like, to share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. See you soon.